Hare Krishna. Today we are going to revise and summarize chapter number 7 of Bhagavad Gita. And the title of this chapter is The Knowledge of the Absolute. Chapter number 7, Bhagavad Gita, Knowledge of the Absolute. And before we start that, let's do little Guru Vandana. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjan Shalakya Chakshurmintam Yen Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Before we start in detail about chapter number 7, let's see the link between chapter number 6, the immediate previous chapter 6, which was Dhyan Yoga. At the end of the chapter number 6, in slok number 47, Dhyan Yoga, Shri Krishna had mentioned about the details and the crux of Dhyan Yoga. And he has mentioned the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. And this is the opinion of Krishna Bhagwan Ji. Now, Krishna Bhagwan Ji mentioned that he who has faith in me. Now, it's very necessary to understand more about me, about Krishna. So he did not tell the details about Krishna, about himself. So in chapter number 7, he talks about in detail about himself, the knowledge of the absolute truth, the Krishna Bhagwan Ji. In slok number 1 to 3, he talks about it, the importance and the grace of knowing this knowledge. And he mentioned in slok number 2 that after you have understood this, after you have heard me in this, because everybody is nowadays looking for evidences. They don't believe unless there is an evidence. So here Krishna Bhagwan Ji himself speaks. He says, I will tell you the truth about me. And after you know it, there will be nothing else to know about it. He says, I will tell you all the material things about me and also the spiritual things about me. And he also emphasizes in slok number 3 that many thousands of years ago, all saints and rishis, they have been trying to understand me. But hardly any few try to know me. I mean, they cannot know me very easily. And out of them who knows me, hardly one comes very near to me. So it's very, very difficult to know Krishna Bhagwan Ji. And this is what Krishna Bhagwan Ji is saying. But he is very merciful. And in this chapter, from slok number 4 onward, he tells about himself. Now we are in chapter number 7, which is the start of the Bhakti Yoga. So from chapter 7 to chapter 12, it's all about Bhakti Yoga. And our acharyas and our rishis and our saints, they have said that the middle portion, the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita are the crux of the Bhagavad Gita. So we are very fortunate that we are starting with chapter number 7, which is the first chapter about the Bhakti Yoga. So chapter number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they will educate us more and more in detail about Bhakti Yoga, how to reach Krishna Bhagwan Ji through Bhakti. So in shlok number 4 onwards, he talks about his material energy, his 8 material energy. And he says, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego, All together, these eight constitute my separated material energies. Bhumir apo analo vayu, kham mano budhir eva cha ahankar, itya me bin prakriti ashtadha. These are the eight material energy of mind. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Now that is the material energy. Now, Bhagwanji says, apart from this, there is another superior energy of mind. Bhagwanji here is talking about his energies. He said there is another superior energy of mind, which is which comprises the living entities, the living beings. Now, these living entities are the superior energy of Krishna Bhagwanji, and they are enjoying to fulfill their desire these material energies, these eight material energies. So we have the material energy and the superior energy, and the superior energy, the living beings, they are enjoying the material energy to fulfill their desires, which is the eight energy, the inferior energy, the superior energy is the living beings. So Bhagwanji further says in Shlok number 6 that all these creative beings have their sources in these two natures. Every living being, they have their sources in these two uh, inferior and superior energy of mind. Of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I am the origin and as well as the dissolution. जब अंत काल प्रलय आती है, I am the reason. And thereafter, when origin takes place of the universe, I am the reason. So I am the reason both for the origin and the dissolution of the universe. Now further Bhagavanji says, the whole universe is created by me and it is all controlled by me. And for this he is giving the example of the pearls which are strung on a thread. Mala, pearls ki mala. The whole universe is centered on, controlled by Krishna Bhagwanji, just as the pearls are strung on a thread. We cannot see the thread. We can see only the pearls. Like this, the whole universe is bestowed on Krishna Bhagwanji, just as the pearls are bestowed on the thread. We cannot see Krishna Bhagwanji, but the whole universe, like the pearls, is controlled by Krishna Bhagwanji. Then further, Bhagwanji now gives the essence of his energies. He has given the cause of his energies. Now he gives the essence of his energies. And he says, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun, and the moon, the syllabus Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and ability in man. I am the origin fragrance of the earth, and I am the heat in fire. I am the life of all that lives, and I am the penances of all the ascetics. Then further Bhagwanji says, know that I am the original seed of all existence, the intelligence of the intelligent, and the prowess of the powerful man. He says, I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I am sex life which is not contrary to religious principle. And then further he says, all the states of being, be they goodness, passion, or ignorance, they are all manifested by me, by my energy. I am, in one sense, everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me. Now he is talking of the three modes of nature. They are all created by Krishna Bhagwanji, but Krishna Bhagwanji is not controlled by these three modes of nature. He is above that. He is Nirgun, Satogun, Rajagun, Tamogun. He is Nirgun, above every gun. all the three modes of nature. He is above all of them. He is not controlled by them. And Bhagwan Ji says, confused by these three modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, and I am inexhaustible. I am above these modes of nature. Talking of these three modes of nature, very important shlok Krishna Bhagwan Ji says in shlok number 14 of Bhagavad Gita. Deve heishi gunmayi mam maya durtya mame vye pradante maya mitan tarantite. He says, the divine energy of mind consisting of these three modes of nature is very, very difficult to overcome. But there is a way out. There is a way out to cross this goodness, passion, and ignorance mode of nature, the three gunas. And what you do, just surrender to me, and I will take care of everything. He says, those who have surrendered unto me, they can cross beyond these three modes of nature. ये भव सागर को पार कर सकते हैं. Only those who surrender on to me, and then Krishna Bhagwan Ji will take care of everything. Now, further, Bhagwan Ji now talks about the surrendering to Krishna Bhagwan Ji. So here further he says, apart from surrendering to him, he will take care of the uh, devotees to cross the Bhav Sagar, or the three modes of nature. Now he says 4 types of people, they do not surrender to him. And there are 4 types of people who surrender to him. And this is mentioned in shlok number this is mentioned in shlok number 15 and 16. So in shlok number 15, Bhagwan Ji mentions about the 4 miscreants who do not surrender unto him. And they are the miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake the atheistic nature of demons, and they are demon-like, and they do not surrender to Krishna Bhagwan Ji. And in shlok number 16, Bhagwan Ji mentions 4 types of people who surrender to him. He says, Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana skrutina arjuna artho jigyasur artho arthi jnani cha bharatvarsha. He said, O best among the Bharatas, Arjun, 4 kinds of pious men begin to surrender devotional service unto me. The distressed, who are in trouble, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the absolute. So these are the 4 types of people who surrender to me. So this Bhagwan Ji is talking about the devotees who surrender to him, the people who surrender to him, and the people who do not surrender to him. Further, he says, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. Of all these people, whoever has surrendered to me, the one who is in devotional service, he is the best. For I am very dear to him, and he is dear to me. So he is giving a lot of importance to the fact that he who is in full knowledge and is engaged in pure devotional service to Krishna Bhagwan Ji, that these people are very dear to Krishna Bhagwan Ji, and he himself is very dear to them. Further says, all these devotees are undoubtedly very, very magnanimous. They are very good. They are magnanimous. But in my opinion, Krishna Bhagwan Ji says, he who is situated in full knowledge of me and considers to me to be just like my own self, and being engaged in my transcendental service, he is sure to achieve me. He is sure to attain me, the highest and most perfect goal. The most perfect goal and highest is to worship Kishan Bhagwan ji. And the people who are in full knowledge of Kishan Bhagwan ji, who are in full devotional service to Kishan Bhagwan ji, they are bound to achieve him. Now, further Bhagwan ji says in Shlok number 19 that it takes lots and lots of number of births to know Krishan Bhagwan ji. And very few people know him. And he says in this Shlok number 19, Bhaunam Janmanam Ante Jnanvan Prabhadante Vasudev Sarvam Iti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. After many, many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders onto Krishan Bhagwan ji, knowing Krishna to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very, very rare. He is a true Brahman and he is very, very rare. It takes lots of births for a person to know Krishna Bhagwan ji. Now, from Shlok number 20 to 25, now we have understood what is surrendering to Krishna Bhagwan ji. People who fully surrender to him, Krishna Bhagwan ji will take care of him. Now, Bhagwan ji comes out very heavily on those people who are worshipping the demigods. He says they are unintelligent people. They are to be ignored and they can never, never succeed in reaching the ultimate goal of finding and meeting and reaching Krishan Bhagwan ji. And this is mentioned in Shlok number 20 to 25 of chapter number 7 of Bhagavad Gita. In Shlok number 20, Kishan Bhagwanji says, those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender onto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. Because they are into Maya, into desires, they worship the demigods. And then Krishna Bhagwanji says, I am as the super soul inside their hearts, inside them. And I firm their faith in those demigods because they have a lot of desires. They worship the demigods. And I sort of arrange their faith in that demigod. And when they have such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires. His desires are fulfilled by worshipping those demigods, Devi Devtas. But what Krishna Bhagwanji says, all the boons and all the benefits that these people get by worshipping the demigods, they are all bestowed by Krishna Bhagwanji himself. So the first thing Krishna Bhagwanji does is he who has faith in demigods, he forms their faith. Right? He forms their faith. And then when they have firm faith in those demigods, he then gives himself the benefits, but through demigods. He is the ultimate giver from the back. Bhagwanji further says, men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach me. The fruits given by the demigod Devi Devtas are temporary, and they ultimately reach at the end of their life the abode of the demigods Devi Devtas. Even that is temporary. They again have to come back to the planet Earth after enjoying the planet's stay of the demigods Devi Devtas के planet में जब चले जाते हैं, they have to come back on the planet Earth. But Bhagavan Ji says, my devotees, they reach me, they reach my planet. And after they reach my planet, they do not have to go anywhere. They remain with me only. They remain on my planet. They do not have to come back to the planet Earth. Now, all these people who are after demigods, Krishna Bhagavan Ji says they are unintelligent people. And he says in Shlok number 24 of chapter number 7, unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. They think that he was personal and now he has become personal. And this is what these foolish people, unintelligent people think about. And due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. They do not know me, that I am eternal, I am imperishable, and I am the supreme, because they are unintelligent. And further, Bhakishan Bhagavanji says to such unintelligent people that I never manifest myself to them. मैं उनको कभी दर्शन नहीं देता. I never manifest to such foolish, unintelligent people. This is mentioned in Shlok number 25. For them, I am covered by my eternal and internal potency, and therefore, these people do not know that I am unborn and I am infallible. Now, in Shlok number 26 to Shlok number 30, Bhagwan Ji gives education about a person who is in total delusion to a person who is in full devotion of Krishna Bhagwan Ji. So from delusion to devotion, he is describing how one should go about it. That is the knowledge of the absolute. This is, remember, Bhakti Yoga, and all that is to be done in Bhakti, and all that is to be known about Krishna Bhagwan Ji are mentioned in this sixth chapter, and we are in the first of such Bhakti Yoga chapter, chapter number 7, the knowledge of the absolute. In Shlok number 26, Krishna Bhagavan says, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to happen. I also know all living entities, but to me, no one knows. No one knows me completely. I know everything. Further, he says, O conqueror of the enemies, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities of desire and hate. Just because they have desires inside them, they have anger and hatred inside them, they're always in dualities. Should I do this? Should I not do this? This is good for me. This is bad for me. Which is the right path? Which is the wrong path? Anger, peace, summer, winter, they're always in dualities. Right? And then towards the second last shlok of the chapter, Bhagwanji now goes gradually towards the devotional service to Krishna Bhagwanji. And he mentions over here, persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. So, very, very important. The people who have acted in pious lives in their previous birth and whose all sins have been eradicated in this life because of their good karmas, because of their good deeds. All these people, they engage themselves in the service to Krishna Bhagwanji with full determination. And lastly, Kishan Bhagwanji speaks about himself. And he says in this slok number 29 and 30, he says, intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me. Now, people are fed up of this old age, then death, then ailment, right? Falling sick, not able to move around, lot of medical problems. So they then come to refuge. भगवान की शरण में लेने आते हैं. They come under refuge of Krishna Bhagwan Ji. So he says, intelligent people who are seeking liberation, who are seeking moksha from old age and death, they take shelter in Krishna Bhagwan Ji in devotional service. They are actually Brahmins because they entirely know everything about the transcendental activities. And shlok number 30, the last shlok, Bhagwan Ji says, those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of this material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, they can understand and know. I mean, these people know that I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead even at the time of death. He makes it very, very clearly that there is nobody superior than me. I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And these intelligent people, they remember me even at the time of their death as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there is more and more to know about Bhakti. Bhagwan Ji did not convey everything about Bhakti in chapter number 7 deliberately because there is more to come. More to come in chapter number 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And we shall follow that with the grace of His mercy, with the grace of Krishna Bhagwan Ji. So thank you very much for being with me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So that ends chapter number 7 of Bhagavad Gita.